The day I learned that new IT manager Harrison was firing me was the same day I discovered the company was making $15 million annually with software I had written. "We need modern solutions now, Oliver," he said with no respect in his eyes. I just smiled because the patent infringement lawsuit documents I would send him next week would turn his life upside down. My name is Oliver Blake, 34 years old, and I was a software developer and systems architect living in Phoenix. Until new IT manager Harrison Woods decided to kick me out after 12 years of my career. That Friday afternoon, in the scorching heat of Phoenix, in the glass office building of Dataflow Systems, Inc., when I was called to Harrison's conference room, I thought it was just a routine performance review. HR Director Patricia Coleman was also there, with files arranged on the table. "Oliver, you've been with this company for 12 years, and your contributions are appreciated," Harrison began, but there was a cold tone in his voice. "However, the company is adopting a new direction. We need modern solutions, more agile methodologies now." Sitting at the table, I was thinking about how Harrison had been pushing me aside since he was brought in from outside the company 6 months ago. Young, Stanford MBA, talking big about cloud technologies, but actually a typical manager who didn't know how to code. "What do you mean, Harrison?" I asked, even though I already knew the answer. "Oliver, your position is being eliminated. Today is your last day of work." When I heard these words, my heart rate increased, but I appeared calm on the outside. 12 years. I had come to this company right after graduating from university. Back then, it was a small 15-person software company. Now it was one of Phoenix's leading tech firms with 200 employees. "I understand," I said quietly. "So what's the reason?" Harrison leaned forward. "Oliver, you're a very talented programmer. No one can deny that. But technology is advancing very fast. You're still working with old methods, modern DevOps, microservice architectures, container technologies. You're not current in any of these areas." I smiled inside. I had brought microservice architecture to this company. I had been the first to implement container technologies. I had set up the DevOps pipelines. But there was no point explaining this to Harrison. "Also," Harrison continued, shuffling through the files on the table, "we're reviewing our company culture. We want to focus on more traditional values." This statement frightened me. I understood what he meant by the company's traditional values. My social media posts about my husband Marcus, whom I married 5 years ago, my participation in Pride events, my active role in LGBTQ+ diversity meetings at the office. "What do you mean by traditional values?" I asked, with slight tension in my voice. Harrison averted his eyes. "Oliver, this isn't personal, it's just business. The company is drawing a new image, wanting to appeal to a more conservative customer base." That's when I understood. This wasn't just about age or technology. This was about my identity. Harrison was firing me because he thought my being openly gay damaged the company's traditional image. "Of course," I said calmly. "I understand." Patricia intervened. "Oliver, the company is offering you a generous package. 6-month salary, health insurance continuity, and a positive reference letter." As I signed the documents on the table, Harrison continued, "Oliver, this really isn't personal. You're a talented man, but the company is going in a different direction." That day, while packing my belongings, I looked one last time at the vacation photo with Marcus on my desk. 2 happy men smiling in a pride-colored frame. A shot from the early days of our 5-year marriage. Harrison saw this photo every day and it bothered him. My colleagues looked at me in shock. Emma, a young developer I'd worked with for 3 years, came up to me. "Oliver, this is terrible. How will these systems work without you?" "Don't worry, Emma," I said. "Everything will go as planned." Driving home, as Phoenix's setting sun painted the glass buildings gold, I thought about the past 12 years. In 2011, Dataflow Systems was just a 15-person startup. Its founder, Stephen Mitchell, was a former engineer with big dreams but limited technical knowledge. When I started work, the company only had a simple website. My first project was developing a customer management system for local businesses. Inspired by that system, I created the company's most important product, the Flowmaster platform. Flowmaster was an integrated solution that allowed small and medium-sized businesses to manage all their operations. Accounting, inventory, sales, customer service, all in one platform. I had written every line of code for this system, designed its architecture, optimized its database. In 2015, Stephen retired and decided to sell the company. Nevada-based holding company TechVision Corporation bought the company. New management came, but I continued developing systems. Over those years, I added new features to Flowmaster. Mobile app, API integrations, AI-powered analytics tools. Each was a feature I designed and coded. The most important development happened in 2018. That year, I had integrated blockchain technology into Flowmaster. This allowed even small businesses to conduct secure and transparent transactions. Thanks to this feature, our company had become an industry leader. But while making all these developments, I had acted smartly. I had filed patent applications for every software I developed. According to company policy, patent rights for technologies developed by employees usually belong to the company. But I had studied this matter very carefully. In the contract I signed when I started work in 2011, there was a clause. Patent rights for technologies developed by the employee in their own time, with their own resources, and outside company operations belong to the employee. That's exactly what I had done. I had developed Flowmaster's core technologies at home, on weekends, on my own computer. Then, I had presented them to the company as open-source projects. The company got the right to use these technologies, but the patent rights remained with me. Over 12 years, I had filed 51 patent applications. 37 of them had been approved. And these patents covered Flowmaster's core technologies: database optimization algorithms, blockchain integration methods, AI analytics solutions, security protocols. The day Harrison fired me, I sat at home reviewing these patent documents. 85% of the system's data flow systems used ran on my patented technologies. That night, I told my husband Marcus about the situation. Marcus was a graphic design professor at the University of Arizona and always a supportive partner. "Oliver, this is terrible. Treating you like this after 12 years is very unfair, and there's clearly discrimination here too," he said. "I know, love," I said to Marcus. "But maybe this is an opportunity." "What do you mean?" I pulled out the patent documents. "All the systems the company uses are built on my technologies, and the patent rights are with me." Marcus's eyes widened. "What does this mean?" "The company can't use these technologies without my permission. If they continue using them, it's patent infringement." Monday morning, I met with patent attorney Rebecca Thompson. Rebecca worked at one of Phoenix's best intellectual property law firms and specialized in the technology sector. "Oliver, these documents are really impressive," she said while reviewing the files. 51 patent applications, 37 approved patents, all within the last 12 years. "The company is using these technologies without paying anything," I said. "From a patent law perspective, this is a very serious situation. If the company is using your patented technologies without permission, they have to both pay retroactive royalties and make a licensing agreement for the future. Or they have to stop using them," I added. Rebecca smiled. "Yes, but the company can't continue operations without Flowmaster. You're in a very strong position. What do you recommend? Let's first send the company an official patent infringement notice. We'll ask them to respond within 30 days. If they don't give a positive response, we'll file a lawsuit in federal court." That week, the official notice Rebecca prepared reached Dataflow Systems. A copy of the notice was sent to Harrison, General Manager Bradley Thompson, and the legal department. The summary of the notice was, Oliver Blake notifies that Dataflow Systems Inc. is using his patent-protected technologies without permission. This is a violation of federal patent laws. The company must correct this situation within 30 days, or legal proceedings will begin. The document included a list of 37 patents and details of how each was used in company systems. Also included was a calculation of the revenue the company had earned with these technologies. $15 million annually. 3 days after we sent the notice, Harrison called me. Oliver, what does this mean? What are you trying to do? Harrison, I'm trying to protect my patent rights, I said calmly. Oliver, this is ridiculous. The things you developed while working at the company belong to the company. Harrison, I recommend you examine the patent documents. I developed the technologies in my own time, with my own resources. They legally belong to me. Is this blackmail? No, Harrison. This is business. You understand? Harrison hung up. That afternoon, General Manager Bradley Thompson called me. Oliver, can you come to my office and talk? Bradley, I'm no longer a company employee. Let's communicate through my lawyer. Oliver, please. Let's handle this professionally. Was firing a 12-year employee by discriminating professionally, Bradley? There was a long silence. What do you want, Oliver? I want respect for my patent rights. Either we make a licensing agreement, or you stop using the systems. There was panic in Bradley's voice. Oliver, this is impossible. The entire business is built on these systems. I know, Bradley. I built it. That week, the company's legal team wanted to meet with me. We gathered at the office of Morrison & Associates, a large law firm in downtown Phoenix. There were 4 lawyers on the company side, Chief Legal Counsel Angela Foster, 2 patent specialists, and a corporate law attorney. On my side was only Rebecca. Mr. Blake, Angela Foster began. We've examined your claims. We question the validity of these patents. Rebecca intervened. On what grounds? Technologies that Mr. Blake developed while working at the company are company property under the employee agreement. Rebecca put a file on the table. Here's Mr. Blake's 2011 employee contract. Read clause 7.3 inches. Angela Foster examined the document. Her face changed. This clause is clear. Patent rights for technologies developed by the employee in their own time belong to the employee, Rebecca said. Mr. Blake developed all these technologies at home, on weekends, using his own resources. The timestamps on patent applications and development logs clearly show this situation. Another lawyer said, but Mr. Blake developed these technologies for company use. No, I said. I developed general technologies and presented them to the company as open-source projects. The company chose to use them. After a 2-hour meeting, the company lawyers were defeated. The patent rights clearly belonged to me, and the company had been using these technologies without permission for 12 years. What do you want? Angela Foster finally asked. Rebecca put a new file on the table. There are 2 options. First option, retroactive royalty payments and ongoing licensing agreement. Second option, immediately stop using the technologies. How much are the retroactive payments? $9.2 million for 12 years of use, $2.2 million annually for ongoing license. Angela Foster held her breath. These amounts are impossible. Then the second option, Rebecca said. You must remove all patented technologies from your systems within 90 days. But this will destroy the company. That's your problem, I said. I showed loyalty to the company for 12 years. In return, I received discrimination and termination. A week after the meeting, Bradley Thompson came to visit me at home. He stood at the door of our house in the Ahwatukee area of Phoenix, sweaty and stressed. Oliver, please, can we talk? Bradley, through my lawyer. Oliver, this will destroy the entire company. 200 people will be unemployed. Marcus appeared at the door. Oliver, who is this? My former general manager, Marcus, Bradley Thompson. Bradley turned to Marcus. Sir, your husband is a reasonable man. Please talk to him. Marcus looked at me. Oliver, whatever you want, we'll do. You're the pillar of this family. Bradley's face fell. He understood this conversation wouldn't work. Oliver, let's at least negotiate. $9.2 million is impossible. Bradley, when you fired me, you gave me 6 months severance. 6 months for 12 years of contribution, and you also discriminated. Oliver, that was Harrison's decision. I didn't approve it. But you didn't prevent it either. Also, did you forget the traditional values issue? Bradley took a deep breath. What's the minimum you'll accept? No minimum, Bradley. Patent law is clear. Either full payment or stop using. After Bradley left that day, Marcus talked with me. Oliver, it's a very large amount of money. But you're right. They both fired you and discriminated. Marcus, I gave my life to that company for 12 years. I went early and came home late every day. I even worked weekends. And in the end, they fired me just for being gay. Absolutely. This isn't just about money. It's about honor. 2 weeks later, I got the company's response from Rebecca. They were making a settlement offer. $4 million lump sum payment and waiving ongoing license. Reject it, I told Rebecca. Oliver, this is a reasonable offer. Legal battle could be risky. Rebecca, I was a reasonable man for 12 years. Always cooperative, never demanding. What was the result? They discriminated and fired me. Now I'm in a strong position and I want full value. Rebecca smiled. Understood. We're filing a lawsuit in federal court. After the patent infringement lawsuit was filed, everything changed. Local business media drew attention to the situation. Headlines like Phoenix Tech Company faces patent lawsuit after firing gay employee covered the story in detail. Data Flow Systems' stock price fell 18%. Investors began to panic. Customers started asking questions about the platform's future. Additionally, LGBTQ+ rights organizations called for a boycott of the company. I couldn't get news from Harrison Woods, but Emma texted occasionally. Chaos at the office, Oliver. Harrison is constantly in meetings. Customers are considering switching platforms. Also, the diversity department started an investigation about Harrison. The lawsuit process lasted 10 months. During this period, Data Flow Systems made many settlement offers, but I rejected them all. Meanwhile, the company tried to hire young developers to replace existing systems. But this was impossible. Flowmaster was the result of 12 years of development. Millions of lines of code, integrated databases, complex algorithms. Replacing these in a short time was technically impossible. During court hearings, the company's technical team testified. When Harrison Woods took the witness stand, he looked very nervous. Mr. Woods, Rebecca said, do you think the company can operate without Mr. Blake? Yes, absolutely. We have young, talented developers. Who developed Flowmaster, the company's core platform? It was teamwork. Rebecca took the patent documents from the table. All 37 of these patents list Oliver Blake's name as the sole inventor. None have the company name or other employee names. How do you explain this? Harrison started sweating. These are individual contributions. Would Flowmaster work without these individual contributions? We can develop alternatives. You still haven't developed alternatives after 10 months. Why? Harrison couldn't answer. Rebecca continued. Mr. Woods, when firing Mr. Blake, you used the phrase traditional values. What does this mean? We were reviewing our company culture. Marcus Blake's photo, whom Mr. Blake is married to, was displayed in his office, correct? Yes, but And you expressed that you were uncomfortable with this situation, correct? Harrison's lawyer objected, but the judge allowed Rebecca to continue. No, I didn't say such a thing. Rebecca pulled out an audio recording from the table. This is from the security camera recording in Mr. Blake's office. We hear you saying, "This company values family values. Such lifestyles might disturb our customers." The courtroom erupted. Harrison's face turned bright red. The court's technical expert, Dr. Samuel Rodriguez, a computer science professor from the Arizona Technology Institute, conducted a detailed analysis. His report was devastating for the company. Flowmaster's architecture is built entirely on Mr. Blake's patented technologies, Dr. Rodriguez said. The platform cannot function without these technologies. Alternative development would require a minimum of 4 to 6 years and $12 to $18 million investment. The final decision came 10 months later. Federal Judge Maria Gonzalez issued a comprehensive ruling. The validity of Oliver Blake's 37 patents was confirmed. Dataflow Systems was found guilty of willful patent infringement. The company was also found to have discriminated based on sexual orientation. Retroactive damages, $13.8 million, 70% of the company's profits from these technologies. Ongoing license, $3.1 million annually. Discrimination compensation, $2.5 million. Legal costs, $650,000 to be paid by the company. Total, $16.95 million immediate payment plus ongoing annual fees. After the decision, Bradley Thompson called me. His voice sounded broken. "Oliver, this will bankrupt us." "Bradley, this was your choice. If you had treated me fairly and not discriminated, it wouldn't have come to this." I fired Harrison. "Please, let's be reasonable." "Too late, Bradley. The decision is final." Harrison Wood's firing was just the beginning. The company entered a financial crisis. Many important employees resigned. Major customers canceled contracts. The LGBT+ boycott continued. 4 months later, Dataflow Systems filed for protection under Chapter 11 of the Bankruptcy Code. Company assets were liquidated. During this process, I started licensing my patents to different companies. Competitor firms in Phoenix wanted to use my technologies without legal risks, because they could obtain Flowmaster's capabilities. Within 8 months, I made licensing agreements with 6 different companies. Total annual income, $7.8 million. Also during this period, I founded my own consulting company, Blake Innovation LLC. Thanks to my expertise, I was providing AI and blockchain solutions to major companies. A year later, Phoenix Business Journal made me a cover story. From discriminated employee to tech millionaire. The Oliver Blake story. The article detailed my journey. How discrimination based on sexual orientation motivated me to protect my legal rights. How I achieved great financial success through strategic thinking with patents. This success wasn't just financial. There was personal satisfaction too. The work I contributed for 12 years was finally recognized and valued. I had also become an example for the LGBTQ+ community. Marcus and I bought a new house in Scottsdale. Modern design, home office, pool, solar panels. Our dream house. "Oliver, I'm proud of you," Marcus said one evening. "You didn't just protect your rights, you fought for the entire LGBTQ+ community." Love. Sometimes life treats you unfairly. But if you stand strong and fight for both your legal and personal rights, justice eventually wins. 2 years later, I got an unexpected phone call. Emma, my former colleague, was calling. "Oliver, can we meet for coffee? I want to discuss something." We met at Starbucks. Emma looked nervous. "Oliver, Dataflow Systems completely collapsed, but several developers are trying to form a group. We want to start a new company." "Good for you, Emma. There are always opportunities in the tech sector." "Oliver, we want you to join us. With your expertise and patents, we can build an amazing company. Also, this time we want to create an LGBTQ+ friendly environment." I wasn't expecting this offer. Emma, I already have a successful business. I know. But please consider it. You could be our mentor, we provide young energy, we could partner, and most importantly, we'd create an environment where everyone can be themselves. I discussed it with Marcus at home. Oliver, what do you think? Emma is a good person, and there are talented people on the team. Maybe this is a good opportunity. Especially we could be an example in diversity. Partnership is a good idea. Your experience plus their energy. And you'd send a message to society. 3 months later, we founded Phoenix Diversity Tech. I joined as a senior partner. Emma became operations manager. We started with a 10-person team, half from the LGBTQ+ community. Our first project was revolutionary. A blockchain-based platform system focused on diversity and inclusion for small businesses. We used my patented technologies as a foundation, but added completely new features. Within 15 months, we acquired 22 customers. Revenue reached $4.2 million. The team expanded to 35 people. Most importantly, our company had 60% LGBTQ+ employees and was shown as an example of diversity in the industry. The local business community began recognizing me as both an innovation leader and LGBTQ+ rights advocate. I became a board member of the Arizona Technology Council. I became the technology advisor for the Arizona Equality Association. One evening, while working in my home office, I got an email notification from Harrison Woods. Oliver, I know this sounds strange, but I want to talk to you. I realized I made a big mistake. Maybe we could meet for coffee? Reading this email, I felt mixed emotions. Anger, curiosity, satisfaction. I showed it to Marcus. What do you think? Oliver, it's your decision. But this man harmed you both professionally and personally. True. But maybe it would be good for closure. The weekend I met Harrison at a coffee shop. He looked very different. Aged, more humble, less confident. Oliver, thank you for meeting. I know this is strange. Harrison, what do you want? I want to apologize. I made a big mistake firing you. I behaved arrogantly, discriminatorily, and disrespectfully. I appreciate the honesty. Oliver, this experience taught me a lot. About respect. About recognizing the value of diversity. I realized how ignorant I was about LGBTQ+ rights. What are you doing now? Small consulting firm. Actually struggling. Both the reputation damage in the tech industry and the LGBTQ+ community's reaction are very serious. Sorry to hear that. Sorry to... Oliver, I don't deserve your forgiveness. But I at least wanted to admit I was wrong. You were a wonderful person and perfect professional. Your sexual orientation should never have made any difference. Harrison seemed sincere. Years of consequences had taught him both humility and tolerance. Harrison, I appreciate your apology. The past is the past. I'm looking forward. I'm proud of your success, Oliver. You deserved it. Also, what you've done for the LGBTQ+ community is wonderful. Leaving the coffee shop, there was a strange feeling. The revenge was complete, but the satisfaction wasn't vindictive. It was peaceful. That evening, I told Marcus everything. Oliver, you did a good thing. Forgiveness makes you a stronger person. Also, it's nice to see that he changed. Love, you're right. Anger consumes too much energy. It's better to focus this on positive things and social change. 3 years later, Phoenix Diversity Tech had become a major success story. 180 employees, $32 million annual revenue. Partnerships with several major companies. Most importantly, 85% of Fortune 500 companies were using our diversity software. In a local newspaper interview, they used the headline, "From discrimination to innovation, from patent revenge to social change." The Oliver Blake example shows that sometimes the greatest injustices can lead to the most important social changes. the journalist wrote. Sitting in my office, looking at the Phoenix skyline, I thought about my journey. 12 years of unfair treatment, sexual orientation discrimination, finally termination. But this hardship had made me stronger, smarter, more successful. Protecting patent rights, fighting legal battles, founding my own company. All were difficult. But the result was worth it. I had created not just personal success, but social change. I always told young LGBTQ+ developers, your work has value. Your identity isn't an obstacle, it's strength. Patents protect your innovations. Don't let others steal your contributions. Sometimes life is unfair. People might judge you for who you are, discriminate. But if you stay determined and stand up for both your legal and personal rights, justice eventually wins. I had done exactly that. And now my example was inspiring both the LGBTQ+ community and the entire tech industry. That evening, while preparing for a Pride event at home with Marcus, our daughter Sophia came to us. Our 6-year-old daughter whom Marcus and I adopted 2 years ago. Dad Oliver, why are we going to Pride? She asked. Sophia, Pride is a celebration of love and equality. To show that people like Dad Marcus and me also have the right to be loved and respected, like everyone else. Why are you and Dad Marcus special? Marcus intervened. Sophia, we're not special. Just 2 men fell in love and got married. Some people don't see this as normal, but we're not hurting anyone. I understand. Why do some people get angry? Because they're afraid of differences, sweetheart. But difference is a beautiful thing. You're different too. So am I. Everyone is different. At that moment, I realized I was leaving a legacy. Not just financial success, but passing values and understanding of equality to the next generation. Years of struggle, discrimination, finally victory. All were meaningful because they created an example for others and contributed to social change. Innovation, perseverance, standing up for your rights, equality, these are timeless values. And I had demonstrated these values both professionally and personally. The future looked bright for Phoenix Diversity Tech. New projects, expansion plans, potential IPO discussions. But most importantly, I had gained respect and recognition. Industry colleagues now saw me not just as a talented developer, but as an LGBTQ+ rights advocate and social change leader. This transformation was a journey of both justice and equality from start to finish. The legal system had worked. Patents had protected my innovations. Perseverance had been rewarded, and social change had been created. Sometimes good people are unfairly fired for their identities. Sometimes innovations are stolen. Sometimes discrimination happens. But I proved that legal remedies exist. Rights can be defended. Justice is possible. And most importantly, one person can create social change. The message is clear. Protect your work. Know your rights. Stand up for yourself. Never be ashamed of your identity. Because in the end, innovation, perseverance, and equality always triumph.